Grimpath is an epic TCG meets fantasy wargaming with just a dash of role-playing. If you think that might be something for you and sounds fun, check out this video.
Grimpath is the perfect combination of a wargame with minis and a TCG where you combine deck building elements with strategic overview on a 10x10 grid. You play your Warlord and this Warlord's warband, and the objective, kill the other Warlord and become victorious. You can choose 5 different spheres of influence, and these influences can be combined any way you like. Right now there are 2 print-to-play decks and 2 available decks on TTS. So if you think this sounds like something for you, you can go try it out right now.
The 5 different spheres of influences is different sort of game mechanics and play styles that you can mix and match. Right now the main focus has been on the Shadow deck, that's sort of a more control feel to it, and then also the Fury deck, which is pure aggro and a lot of little minions going around on the battle grid fighting it out. With the Kickstarter coming in February 2024, you will also be able to play Nature, Arcane, and Spirit. Much more about these different types on the Grimpath Discord, which you can check out below in the description.
Each deck is led by a Warlord, and a Warlord plays much like a commander in a game of Commander and Magic. A Warlord has a special ability, and this ability is of course going to affect your gameplay in a very significant way, so it's a good idea to build around this. All Warlords come with an influence point, they come with a power, and they come with a life total. And the life total is also the win con in a game of Grimpath. If you can reduce your opponent's Warlord to 0 health, you have won the game. Now there's only left to put your Warlord on the starting grid and the battle can begin. So let's get right into the gory details of gameplay in Grimpath.
First up, you enter the battlefield, and your regular battlefield will be a 10x10 grid where you can place your Warlord and then you get to place your minions alongside that Warlord. You're going to draw up 6 cards and you only have 1 deck. And then you begin to play. You roll a die, and then both you and your opponent will find out how much terrain you can place on the battlefield. So the cool part is that you can really interact between your minions, your cards, and the terrain. It's not only there for decorations, you can hide behind it. You can decide to pull someone up on a couple of building blocks and throw them off to kill them. So it's really cool that you interact with your environment, and it also helps decide how you're going to play this game and if you're going to win or not. When you want to play something, you can use the Warlord's own influence to gain you some advantages and resources to play your cards. Like many other modern TCGs, you don't get starved on your resources because you can always use your minions and tap them for their influence, which is a really great feeling because you're not depending on your resource, you're depending on your skill and strategy on the battlefield.
The bread and butter of a game of Grimpath is of course your minions. Some minions are generic and others have special abilities when they enter the battlefield or to be used on the battlefield. All minions come with an influence cost, an influence value, a power and a health bar. And in a game of Grimpath, damage is persistent, so you will mark down the health on every minion you have that become damaged. And now minions are just there to kill, kill, kill. But you can also use them more defensively and strategically because minions themselves can be tapped for resources since they also have an influence value. And speaking of influence, that is another card type because in a game of Grimpath you have resources, and these resources are cards called influence cards. All influence cards can tap for 1 influence of the sphere to which they belong. But many other of the influence cards also have special abilities to be used on the strategic battle grid. And of course there are many other card types in a game of Grimpath, but minions and influence just might be the most important for now.
In a game of Grimpath, you use miniatures on your battlefield, and these miniatures are really cool and really fun. You can see that the creator has made their own, so they fit to the TCG cards and they are really cool. These you will be able to buy later on. But if that is not your jam and you already have an entire treasure chest full of miniatures, you can just use your own. Or in reality, you could also use just the little print and play ones that you can already find in the Discord. That's not the most important part. The most important part is that you have fun with Grimpath.
As we mentioned, there are already 2 decks ready to print and play online. And speaking of online gaming, if you want to try Grimpath in an online environment, On Steam, you can download Tabletop Simulator, and there's an add-on for Grimpath, created by the creator of the game, David Gardner. And on this add-on, you can play Grimpath online with your friends, or you can go sign up for the tournament on the Grimpath Discord server. Also, we know that David Gardner is really happy to play with all the people joining his server, so if you're down with a game with the creator himself, join the Discord server.
Right now, all Saturdays are skirmish Saturdays, which means that David will be there to teach you. Other players will be there as well, maybe to grab another game. So definitely, if this sounds like something you would enjoy, then just go down below in the description and click that invite link to the Discord. This is just the beginning, people. Right now on TTS and the Print to Play, you're playing in the standard format, which is a 10 by 10 grid. But David has great plans for a more extended format where you can play on battleships. You know, anything that you actually can imagine, you could do that. So when you're playing Grimpath, you're not just building decks, you're building stories when you build decks. We can only highly encourage you to go check it out. We've been having a lot of fun with it, and I think you would too.
Indeed. So don't forget about the Kickstarter coming in February 2024. And if you want to know more about Grimpath and you want to check out our interview with the creator, David Gardner, you can watch the video up here.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for this time. And we need to give a little shout out to all our YouTube channel members and our Patreon members. You really support us and it makes all the difference in the world. Thank you. And we will see you in the next video.